Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, there are so many things that Kenyans are complaining about in this country, and this has pushed William Ruto to the wall, and now he's forced to come out. Ruto is on his knees begging Kenyans to harness love for their country and refrain from criticizing and complaining about unnecessary issues. Now he's calling Kenyans to love their country, to stop complaining, and he's even using US-based companies that have done some rating to do about Kenya, just to confirm that Kenya is good, and all the complaints we have heard in this country might not be true. That's according to William Ruto. But again, it is good we look deeper into this statement, and we have to understand if Ruto is out of context or indeed if he's right, and why do Kenyans hate this leadership? Because we have to understand, is it all about the leadership or their country? We have a country, we have a government, the Republic of Kenya. Then we have William Ruto's government. We have to understand this because someone might be out of context.
This is our country.
Now we are continuing this final discussion, but just a quick request. For those who are watching and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must thank you so much. And again to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to this discussion. Now, Ruto must get his facts right. As the president, he has to understand that there is no one, no Kenyan, hate this country or has negativity about Kenya. Kenyans have problem with his kind of leadership, governance. Kenyans have problem with Ruto's administration, but they have no any negative issues to do with the country called Kenya. So let him understand, if there is anything Kenyans are criticizing, they're not criticizing their country, they are criticizing William Ruto's administration. Once they get that right, then they will go and sit down to understand why are Kenyans so much negative about his leadership. No one hates this country. This is our home. That is true. But majority of us hate his style and kind of leadership. The issue of bottom up, a president who lies when he sleeps, when he wakes up, when he think of anything, is all about lies, master of lies. Kenyans hate lies. They hate a liar. They hate fake, empty, hot air promises. And that is what he has offered in this country. Let him understand that. So you should not confuse anyone or convince anyone that we have people who hate this country. We have people who are just looking on negative things about this country. We have people who just target to criticize this country. We don't criticize the country, Kenya. We are criticizing his kind of leadership. And a good leader should allow anyone to criticize the way he's governing. Otherwise, if you all keep quiet, he might think he's right when he's wrong. So he should ask, why is he afraid of criticism? It is because he has failed in his manifesto, his promises, and the extravaganza expenditure. The kind of policies that he has put in place. Ile ofisi amekuja now, in the manner in which is collecting taxes, kuna ofisi mkubwa kabisa kwa hii serikali. And Kenyans are not happy about that. That's why they come out to criticize his leadership. So if there is any rejection, Ruto should know that Kenyans are not rejecting the country called Kenya. They are rejecting him as a person in the office of influence Sasa ni yeye ndiye anakataliwa, ni yeye anaongelewa, lakini hawaongelei Kenya as a country. So you should know, as William Ruto, he is not the country called Kenya. He's just in that office of governance. And once you go to such office, embrace everything, because this one is a public office where you oversee taxpayers' money. You need to be the biggest ambassador of this country. And so as the Kenyan ambassador to the world, and here he has failed. Now you see he's begging Kenyans not to criticize this country, to refrain from, talking about the negative thing about this country. They are talking about him. And as long as he will get it wrong, let him expect more of negative issues on his governance. People will talk about that. But then Kenyans are also asking a question. That you are arguing Kenyans to harness the love for their country. But for him, he is only harnessing love for our money. You are showing love for our money when you ask us to show love for this country. It cannot work that way. Let him embrace the country, Kenya, first by serving everyone, but not targeting our pocket. But what Kenyans are concluding is that you are a one man who has targeted their pocket, but nothing else. Wewe upende pesa zetu, na sisi tupende nchi Kenya. Ndio tunapenda nchi Kenya, lakini mbona wewe upende pesa zetu kuliko kupenda kuhudumia wa Kenya na nchi itwayo Kenya? He has to know this. This is what Kenyans are saying. Above all, if Ruto is irritated with the criticism, let him vacate that office. You cannot ascend to such office and think that no one will talk about you. Just leave if you're not comfortable with the criticism you are getting. He is still the same person who is now asking Kenyans not to criticize him. But at one point, he was criticizing the previous regime. He has been using his time every day to criticize the former regime of Uhuru Kenyatta, where he was also serving, rather than concentrating on his work in the office. The question is, when will the Kenya Kwanza administration refrain from criticizing the former Jubilee administration and concentrate on working for the people? When will that happen? He has never stopped, but he's asking us to stop criticizing this government. Not even the government, the country called Kenya. And we know he's just shifting to look like we are criticizing Kenya. We don't criticize Kenya, we criticize his leadership. Yeye mwenyewe ako busy ana criticize Uhuru Kenyatta, ana criticize Raila Odinga, but you don't want anyone to criticize his leadership. I want to read 2 comments from Kenyans as we conclude this discussion. This is what Moses is saying. We love Kenya, we don't love you. Go back and manage poultry farm. Another comment, Hillary Gunjiri. We love the country of 2 wheat flour packets and a liter of cooking oil labeled President of Kenya right in Sugoi. Those are Kenyans. I don't know your views, but let us wait in the comment section to continue this discussion. Thank you and see you in our next video.